CHMA.
The time is 9 o'clock and you're listening to CHMA 106.9 FM in Sackville, New Brunswick.
And now it's time for your CHMA News. We're broadcasting from Sackville, New Brunswick, the heart of the Maritimes and the traditional and unceded lands of the Mi'kmaq people. Coming up in the next 15 minutes, we'll have your local news, Atlantic update, weather, sports update, and some community announcements.
Hello, and welcome to CHMA's local news at 106.9 FM and CHMAFM.com. We are broadcasting from Sackville, New Brunswick, the heart of the Maritimes, on the traditional and unceded lands of the Mi'kmaq people. I'm Mike Robar. It's Thursday, August 13th. In the news today, the government is seeking feedback from the public on the province's minimum wage. Consultations are being held over the next 2 months with organizations, employers, and workers to get their thoughts on the issue and how it affects them. While the Department of Post-Secondary Education, Training, and Labor reviews the minimum wage every 2 years, this will be the first public consultation in 10. The department is examining the minimum wage amount, how it is determined, and the timeline for any changes to it. The review must also consider the social and economic effects of minimum wage, including how much it costs to afford the basic necessities of life in New Brunswick. The province's current minimum wage is $15.90 an hour. It is updated annually on April 1st based on New Brunswick's Consumer Price Index, published by Statistics Canada. Feedback can be submitted through an online form by emailing labortravail@gnb.ca or by phone at 1-844-453-4155. And now, CHMA spoke with Barry Rothfuss about new evidence arguing for a federal review of the gas plant proposed in Centre Village. The 500-megawatt diesel and gas power plant proposed for Centre Village should legally fall under federal jurisdiction, according to a new release from the Protect the Shignecto Isthmus Coalition. The coalition contends that evidence shows the project is a transboundary issue between New Brunswick and Nova Scotia, and is calling on Beausejour MP Dominic LeBlanc to review said evidence and coordinate with Federal Environment Minister Julie DeBrusen to ensure a proper federal review is completed. Barry Rothfuss, Executive Director of the Atlantic Wildlife Institute and a representative of the Protect the Shignecto Isthmus Coalition, says it is clear to him that relying on the regulatory framework of New Brunswick alone is not enough and requires federal attention.
By law, it should have been reopened once we started getting the information. Again, this is a transboundary project. There is no legal accountability. The review that is taking place now through the province of New Brunswick is, in my view, technically illegal. It does not address this from the standpoint of all of its impact perspectives.
The argument presented by the coalition hinges on a few pieces of evidence. Chief among them is a formal response the Atlantic Wildlife Institute received from New Brunswick Environment Minister, which stated that provincial authority restricts ground-level concentrations only within its own geographic borders. The letter from the PCIC says a report prepared by Stantec, an engineering, architecture, and environmental consulting firm, for the project, laid out a 2,500 square kilometer impact domain centered on the facility. That put 30% of the engineering grid over Cumberland County, including Amherst sitting directly in the path of projected emissions, said Rothfuss.
By their own standard, they've defined that this is hitting 30% of Nova Scotia in relationship to New Brunswick. They have no legal recourse or jurisdictional accountabilities in Nova Scotia. Anything that you're doing in New Brunswick has no impact on the Nova Scotia side of the border, and we're leaving them vulnerable. That requires federal intervention and federal standards to come into play here by law. we have a transboundary issue taking place here on multiple levels.
Further, Stantec's models show ground-level concentrations of nitrogen dioxide and fine particulate matter, PM 2.5, will exceed the national metrics of the Canadian Ambient Air Quality Standards established under the Canadian Environmental Protection Act. But, says Rothfuss, the regulatory assessments are only being done based on provincial requirements laid out in the outdated 1997 Clean Air Act, which was written before peaker plants like this project were first deployed in Canada. On top of this, during the most recent regular Tantramar Council meeting on July 14th, NB Power Vice President Brad Cody confirmed the project had abandoned plans to dispose of wastewater on site. He went on to say the facility would now ship it to the Halifax region for disposal. Rothfuss told CHMA that wastewater, a corrosive chemical brine, would be a, quote, toxic spill type of environment, unquote, if something were to go wrong during transportation. Never mind the potential damage to water tables across provincial boundaries.
They're going to be pulling this water up out of the ground. There's all sorts of hazards that can occur when they're doing that, which can impact the entire regional water table. I think Amherst spent $5.5 million on their water system recently. All of that can be in jeopardy just by backflushing.
When speaking to media after that July 14th council meeting, Cody confirmed the project did not secure any Indigenous equity agreement and that it was not required as part of the regulatory processes with the Energy and Utilities Board or Provincial Department of Environment. However, given the utility has only been in talks with Indigenous communities in its own province, the coalition says the New Brunswick government lacks any authority to conduct Crown consultations with potentially affected communities in Nova Scotia. CHMA contacted Minister DeBrusen's office and received an email response which stated the Impact Assessment Agency of Canada conducted an assessment of the Centre Village project and, quote, decided at an early stage that no further assessment was required, end quote. Minister LeBlanc's office did not respond to CHMA inquiries before deadline. While Rothfuss worries his pleas may fall on deaf ears at the federal level, he remains optimistic politicians will make the right decisions if the public continues to stay loud on the issue.
They have to do what is right for their communities. They can't keep brushing us to the side and pretending that we're just noise and that we don't have a legitimate concern here. In this particular instance, I think that we have to just continually hold their feet to the fire in relationship to what needs to actually take place from the standpoint of doing the right and not doing the politically expedient thing here.
For CHMA, I'm Mike Robar.
Hello, this is Clinton Davis with more local CHMA news. Tonight, Canadian rapper Classified is set to headline the Exit 1 Summer Bash at the Amherst Stadium. It's an outdoor-style concert event bringing together some of Atlantic Canada's best-known hip-hop and pop performers. The Summer Bash features a 3-act lineup with Classified sharing the stage with up-and-comer pop singer Rhea May and established Halifax rapper Quake Matthews. Those doors open at 6 p.m. and there's an all-ages section as well as a licensed area for adults. The Exit 1 Summer Bash itself is being promoted as a large-scale regional concert event aimed at bringing together different genres and audiences for a single night of live music at the Amherst Stadium. And you don't get a show like that every night in that part of the province. Tickets are on sale online now. But there's also big band energy coming to downtown Sackville Thursday evening. Elastic Big Band is this week's performer for Tantramar's Concerts in the Park series. Those are taking place at the Bill Johnstone Memorial Park from 6:30 to 8 p.m. It's a free weekly series, if you don't know about it, that features a different local musical act each Thursday throughout the summer, giving residents a chance to get together, hear live music outdoors, right in the center of town. The concert is hosted by the Tantramar Active Living and Culture Department. Right in between Amherst and Sackville, Acadian culture and history will be celebrated Friday evening at Fort Beausejour National Historic Site. The family event runs from 5 to 7 and includes live music from Jerry LeBlanc, a kite demonstration, there'll be face painting, and, of course, a bouncy castle. The location has particular historical significance. National Acadian Day itself is celebrated on August 15th, and it dates back to the first Acadian National Convention in 1881 that actually took place right up the street in Memramcook. But the truth is, loud music and festivals isn't for everyone. That's why Mount Allison University is introducing a sensory-friendly quiet zone at Jennings Dining Hall after a pilot project received strong student interest. The university says 139 people responded to a survey about the space, while 188 visits were recorded during the spring pilot. The area is intended to provide a calmer dining environment for people who may find the noise and activity of a busy dining hall overwhelming. The project is an example of accessibility, extending beyond physical barriers to consider sensory needs in shared campus spaces. That's it for today. This is your local CHMA News here in Tantramar, and I'm Clinton Davis.
Oi, eu sou a Gabriela e você está escutando ao CHMA.
And now for your CHMA Atlantic update. A researcher from Dalhousie University in Halifax is working with teams across Canada to study how cannabis affects the brain in people of various ages. The Canadian Cannabis and Brain Health Consortium aims to establish scientific evidence about both potential benefits and harms of cannabis. That includes its effects on epilepsy, anxiety, post-traumatic stress disorder, sleep, mental health, and brain development in youth and during pregnancy. Researchers will also recruit over 3,000 people of all ages and collect data about brain function, mental health, and substance use. The federal environment minister announced $34 million to help communities around Canada cope with climate change. Environment Minister Julie Debrusens made the announcement in Halifax this morning, saying Canada's climate is changing, and the funding will help make these communities more resilient so people are protected from flooding, extreme heat, and other risks. Halifax is receiving nearly $800,000 to install cooling measures in its parks to help residents cope with extreme heat. A total of 128 communities are set to receive money through this funding. A New Brunswick judge is said to have used authority inappropriately and engaged in questionable conduct. The ruling by the Canadian Judicial Council Review Panel says Justice Frederick Ferguson used his authority inappropriately during an interaction with a junior lawyer. Now Ferguson must send a written apology to the junior lawyer within 60 days, all stemming from a complaint from a New Brunswick lawyer alleging several acts of misconduct by Ferguson. The panel dismissed allegations that Ferguson was abusive towards other lawyers and made sexist comments in court, among other accusations. The acquisition of a European medical cannabis company has helped drive New Brunswick-founded Organigram Global to record quarterly revenues. Organigram acquired German-based Sanity Group GmbH in April. It says it added about $38 million in net revenue during the 3-month period that ended on June 30th. Organigram says it is working on a European growth strategy with plans to expand the business in Switzerland, Poland, and the UK. And that has been your CHMA Atlantic update.
Hey, this is Dr. Jason Bonner, and you're listening to CHMA.
And now for the weather. Today, sunny skies, increasing cloudiness late in the morning, then 60% chance of showers late in the afternoon, with a risk of thunder showers late in the afternoon, a high of 26, humidex of 29, and UV index of 5 or moderate. At night, cloudy skies with a 60% chance of showers and risk of a thunder shower. Wind southwest 20 kilometers an hour, becoming west 20 overnight, with a low of 14. On Friday, showers with a high of 22. At night, cloudy periods with a 60% chance of showers and a low of 14. On Saturday, sunny with a high of 24. At night, cloudy periods with a low of 12. On Sunday, a mix of sun and cloud with a high of 25. Then at night, cloudy periods with a low of 14. On Monday, cloudy with a 60% chance of showers and a high of 21. Then at night, cloudy periods with a 30% chance of showers and a low of 14. Finally, on Tuesday, cloudy with a high of 21. And that has been the weather.
Hi, I'm Nana Kobayashi, and you're listening to CHMA.
And here's Brian Nielsen with your CHMA Sports Update.
3 games last night in the WNBA saw the Dallas Wings defeat the visiting Toronto Tempo 94-88. It was the Golden State Valkyries all over the Chicago Sky at home. 20-point margin victory, 91-71 final there. And the Portland Fire, the other expansion team in action last night, didn't have enough fire to burn out the Minnesota Lynx. Lynx win 85-81 to maintain their best record in the WNBA. Major League Baseball action yesterday saw your Toronto Blue Jays defeat the Boston Red Sox 6-4. Jays trying to eke out a wild card playoff before the season ends. About 40 games left in the season. San Diego Padres, they come back in the bottom of the 11th to defeat the Milwaukee Brewers 4-3. It was the Twins with the 7-5 W over the Orioles in the afternoon. Cardinals 7-1 victors over the Phillies. Rays double up the Athletics 8-4. D-backs lose to the visiting Colorado Rockies 6-4. It was a 1-run game. And the Astros, in the attempt to keep their lead in the American League West, they defeat the Giants 2-1 in San Francisco. Guardians with 6-4 victory over the Detroit Tigers. Marlins all over the Pirates 8-2 final in that one. Cubs double up the Nationals in D.C. 12-6 final there. It was the Yankees with comeback to defeat the Seattle Mariners at home 10-5. Mets, they lose to Atlanta in Atlanta 6-3 final there. It was the Chi Sox shutting out the Cincinnati Reds to maintain their lead in the AL Central Division standings. 5-0 there. Dodgers double up the Royals 4-2, and it was the Los Angeles Angels defeating the Texas Rangers 5-2 in the late game. In New Brunswick Senior League baseball action last night, the Moncton Mets, they sweep the St. John Alpines. 7-1 is the game final, 2-0 series final, and they'll move on to the next round of the playoffs, likely going up against the Charlottetown Islanders. And in tennis action yesterday, the Canadian Open happening for the men and the women in Montreal and Toronto, respectively. It was Nakashima defeating Joder 7-6, 6-4, and Shelton beating Tien 6-2, 6-3. That means Shelton and Nakashima, the two Americans, will face off for the championship later today. And on the women's side, it was Swiatek over Svitolina 6-3, 1-6, 6-3. And Coco Gauff loses to Elena Rybakina 5-7, 6-2. 6-2. Rybakina and Swiatek will play for the championship tonight as well. And finally, in a local Rockers United Solidarity Tennis League, or Rust League if you'd prefer, it was Slammin' Steve Lampke beating Jumpin' John McKeel in straight sets 6-4, 6-3.
And that was Brian Nielsen with your CHMA Sports Update. Be sure to tune in every morning at 8:45 to hear the sports commentary live. Otherwise, it will also air with your CHMA News at 9 a.m., 12 p.m., and 5 p.m.
Hi, my name is Callie, and you're listening to CHMA 106.9 FM in Sackville, New Brunswick.
And now for what's happening in your community. Coming up, Marshlight Theater Company presents Zomblet, Dan Bray's exciting hybrid of Hamlet, Dr. Faustus, and zombies. Zomblet will be performed outdoors. It's an alternate reality where Hamlet and Faustus join together to defeat zombies. It's a rollicking comedy that is sure to leave you gasping in fear. This show contains comic gore and coarse language. Tickets are $15 for adults and $5 for youth under 18. Tickets are available at marshlight.ca or at the door. The show runs from August 14th to the 23rd at 7 p.m. at the corner of Bridge and Weldon by the Quonset Hut. Once again, this is Marshlight Theater Company's production of Zomblet. Celebrate Acadian Day on Friday, August 14th from 5 to 7 p.m. at Fort Beausejour. Bring the whole family for an afternoon of fun featuring a kite demonstration, a bouncy castle, face painting, live music by Jerry LeBlanc, and complimentary ice cream. Join Tantramar Active Living and Culture as they celebrate Acadian culture with activities for all ages in a beautiful historic setting. We hope to see you there. Join Tantramar Active Living and Culture this summer for Silver Lake Paddle Fest, an evening of paddling, community, and outdoor fun. Held monthly, this event invites you to bring your kayak, canoe, or paddleboard and take part in a relaxing group paddle on the water. Silver Lake Paddle Rentals will be offering free rentals during each event, first come, first served, making it easy for everyone to join in. The next Paddle Fest will be taking place August 19th from 6 to 8 p.m. at the Lillis Fawcett Park. Spend the afternoon at Beach Hill Park on August 22nd with family-friendly games, a barbecue, slip and sides, and fun for all ages from 3 to 7 p.m. For those 19 and up, there will also be an outdoor concert from 7 to 11 p.m. featuring beer and great local music. Concert tickets are just $15 and include a reusable commemorative beer mug. All proceeds will support accessibility improvements at the Tantramar Veterans Memorial Civic Center. Gather your friends, bring your lawn chair, and help make a difference while enjoying a great day of summer fun. This is going to take place August 22nd. Finally, join Duckies for a killer lineup of shows on August 29th at 8 p.m. with Puffin and Devil's Punch Bowl. Puffin is a group straight out of Halifax, Nova Scotia that promises to deliver a loud, high-energy set packed with riffs, hooks, and controlled chaos. Devil's Punch Bowl is an independent Atlantic Canadian band serving up a raw, high-energy blend of gothic folk, anarcho-punk, and skate folk. Gritty, loud, and unapologetically original, they bring East Coast storytelling and DIY spirit to every stage. The doors open at 7 p.m. and admission is $15 or pay what you can. This is August 29th at Duckies at 8 p.m., Puffin and Devil's Punch Bowl. And that's what's happening in your community.
And that was your CHMA News. Please visit www.chmafm.com for more news and to sign up for our email newsletter. Funding is provided by our monthly sustainers, the Community Radio Fund of Canada, and the Municipality of Tantramar's Community Development Grant. If you have a story idea or would like to include an announcement, please write us at news@chmafm.com.
Legendary CHMA community DJ Banzai Jack Kitty brings the capital hour head shaking, cowbell banging rock and roll for over 30 years on CHMA every Thursday at 7 p.m.
Whether you're heading to work, getting off a shift, or just waking up in the morning, you are listening to CHMA 106.9 FM in Sackville, New Brunswick, Voice of the Marshes. I'm Maya Noel, and this is the Late Morning Show. Today is Thursday, August 13th, and I hope you guys have been having a great morning so far. I've been doing pretty well, and I'm really excited to jump into some music. So first up, we have Joey Quinones with Don't Let Go, as well as Ruben and the Dark with All My Money. Thank you so much, as always, for tuning in, and I hope you enjoy the music.